Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. So in today's episode, there's going to be at least one of you guys in the comments that's really happy because I'm going to try to use those entangled blocks for automating our quantum, whatever this thing is, quantum crafting doohickey. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, one of you guys has been shouting at me about using these entangled blocks, and as you can see, it sort of looks like I set it up and then tore it apart, but no, I would never do that. This is my serious face right here. Trust me, I did not do that. So we need the entangled binder, which is pretty easy to craft. That is how you interact with these blocks. Oh, it's definitely not bound to this quantum assembler because I was. So anyways, to bind it, you shift, right-click on a block, and it will bind your wrench to that block, and then we just simply right-click it on this one, and it quite literally just acts as a proxy interface for the other block. I was all worried it was going to be complicated and convoluted. Nope, super simple. So what I did was I set it to here, and now we can get to the bottom. So I've got an import bus plugged in on the bottom, and then we're just going to take our pattern provider. We're going to toss it here on the face, grab out our nether quartz wrench, once on the top, once there to point it in, make sure it's going to that one, and then we can put in our processing patterns. I went ahead, since all of this is nested crafting, and I nested them together so that we can try to tell the system, hey, I need you to make me my 900, what was the number? I gotta find it. 624 is the number. So we need 624 Calorite space plating. I doubt we have all of the materials for it yet, but we can see, right? Like, I don't think we have enough for even one. Yeah, we're missing the dimensionally attuned, so we need to get that, and we're missing stabilized fire. But to help us out, what we could do is we could tell it, hey, I need for you to make me 624 ostrom plating, because we're going to need that ostrom for making this. So let's see if it will craft even 100 of those. Looks like we're short on refined obsidian plate, and we don't have a recipe for it. But let's go fix that, and then we will get into the rest of the automation. But it works. So just for you guys to see it work, let's go with Dash, because that was what I tested. I can tell it to make me a Dash space plating, and then you can watch as it comes into here. There it comes in. There goes the craft. There goes our Dash space plating out. And now we have 15. So it works with the entangled blocks. Thank you for the person who continually shouted about why wasn't I doing it the easy way. You're right. I should have done it that way a long time ago, but I was scared, okay? Oh God, whatever those are those octopus things, and they are very loud. All right, so we needed to get some recipes going. It looked like for refined obsidian plate, right? So do we have refined? We have refined obsidian ingots. We just don't have the plates being made. And those can be made in our multi-servo press. Ooh, are we out? We might be out of room for recipes in our multi-servo press. I think I remember that being the problem. Yep. So we are out of room for plates. We're going to need to make a new multi-servo press to get that going and get it added in. And let's go find a spot to put it out here in Automation Station. I think our blue line's got plenty of space, so we will just tack it on to the end of this row of machines right here. A couple pieces of cable. Grab a multi-servo press. And then we will grab out our light blue from this bag. And we will pull it over with the lower tier because we're getting to the back end of this. Okay, turn you into a flat pattern provider. This machine is going to be input-output on the top. There we go. And auto input, auto output, pattern provider, refined obsidian. There we go. So now we have refined obsidian and a place to make some more plates as we need them. Let's see what else is missing from making Ostrom. And we need 624, but let's start with 100. It looks like we have everything for 100. So we're going to hit go and let that roll while we are working on other stuff today. And it looks like it's coming in. So yeah, looks like that works. Thanks again for the suggestion over and over and over to use those. I don't know why I'm so stubborn. All right, so Calorite space plating. Now we've verified that we can autocraft the Ostrom, and that just leaves us the dimensionally attuned Calorite plate and stabilized fire. So stabilized fire's got a few things we're going to have to automate, and these are going to be some doozies. We're going to have to get into actually finally automating our elemental craft, figuring out how we can take and get the right essences into the containers automatically. And we need to be making these blaze rods, inner fabrication matrix, which I think is already on autocraft, but the blaze dust is not. And then finally, we need to make fireballs, which we smelt fire charges. And fire charges can be made in a few different ways. Blaze powder, which we should have just an absolute ton of blaze powder from our stuff. Blaze, 18K. Okay, so let's teach the system how to make the fire charge. We'll go with this one. We should have all of that. And then we need to tell it how to make the fire other thing, the fireball. All right, so that gets our fireballs, one of the components. Now the one I'm a little nervous about. Let's take a look at how we're going to automate this elemental craft. So we're going to need our grindstone, our air mill grindstone, which it might still be set up at the old base. Let's pop over and grab it. Yep, there's our air mill grindstone. We're going to just take all the air stuff because this stuff's all got to get moved anyways. And since air's the first one we need, let's go after it. All right, so here's what I'm thinking for a setup. I'm thinking we're going to need to set up these elemental containers kind of just like we had them before. So let's try and line up in a row with that. Come down here, and then another one there. One of these is going to need to have an elemental evaporator on it, which is going to need to have an export car or an export bus with the air shards on it. So let's grab out an export bus. It's going to need a crafting upgrade because we're going to have to tell... Well, actually, we don't have to tell the system how to make the powerfuls because they're going into a drawer. But we are going to have to set up some automation for them because I think we're going to bleed them dry. But maybe not in this episode. So we shall see. Export bus up there. Elemental pipe. Is there an upgrade for these? Improved elemental pipe. Cool. Is there another upgrade? No. Okay, so... that's the fastest transfer rate, and then we're going to tell you, right? That's the way it goes, because then it's sucking from there into that one. And then where is our air mill grindstone thing? Oh, I bet you it sucked into one of the other things at the old base. How many of y'all caught that? All right, export bus. Onto there. Export bus is going to export those. And then now let's put them in. Okay, full stack in there. That'll keep it stocked with the air millstone. Then now we can set the millstone up here. Let me go grab it. All right, pop back to the old base, grabbed our air mill grindstone. And then now we're going to need to bring a channel or two over to this. So that we can set up, I guess, an export bus and then a drawer, because then we can just have it make us like 2K of them rather than trying to do it on demand. So export another one. That's my last one. So can you make me 10? Cool. So export bus here. Now this is going to need a crafting upgrade because those blaze rods we do already have on AutoCraft. So we need a crafting upgrade. Oh, wait, that's a capacity card. No, that's a crafting card. Okay. Crafting card. And then we are going to need nothing else. Go in there. And then Venus blaze rods. Okay. So now it's going to export them and grind them. And then if we grab out a drawer, and we go right here with the drawer, Venus blaze dust, and then we can use these item transporters that we were using before. Can go in this one and tell it whitelist, and you only get to export those. And there we have it. So now we've automated it. Last thing we need to do is we probably need to get ourselves a drawer controller tied in somewhere up here. And since this bus is the closest, let's get a drawer controller. Nope, that's not a controller. Drawer con. Storage controller. Storage con. There we go. Okay. And then an external storage, or no, storage bus. I have a feeling a lot of these elemental crafts, it's going to be best for us to control them with just setting them up automated rather than trying to do them as needed, because they're kind of a timely process and you got to build up the element in the containers for them. So hopefully this will work out, because this will make up to 2,000 and then just kind of stop. And yeah, it might be a little resource intensive and channel intensive, but we're prepared to need a lot of channels. So is our storage bus done? It sure is. All right, so we're going to take this drawer controller and we're going to go right up here. And then if we pop back down, we should be able to get to the bottom of it with this. Oh, it can't go right on that dense cable. I forgot because I'm a dummy. Let's go right here and then we can put it on top. Actually, we can go right here, and that'll get it a little lower, help with reach. Now, I kind of been stepping them down. I think you can be 7 or 6. Doesn't matter, as long as you're above 0. And so that'll try and put everything in here first. And now we just need our linking and locking. Same as it ever was. So linking tool. We're on add, and then lock, and there we have it. So now we have access to our Venus blaze dust inner storage, and it's being automatically generated for us. Let's see if we can see it. Venus blaze dust. Yep. Why did this thing hang up? This thing hung up at some point. Oh, it might need some speed upgrades to get the items out fast enough. Let's try some acceleration cards on the import bus. Oh, I know what happened. It was trying to make the Desh space plating and the Ostrom space plating at the same time, and we need blocking mode on. Great. So now hopefully that'll clear up and wait on everything to clear out. Looks like it didn't become a problem until it started making the Ostrom. But don't forget blocking mode. That way you don't run into the backup I just had. And for the sake of the speed of the machine, you probably want to toss an import bus into your, or some acceleration cards into your import bus to make it fast enough. Okay, so we got our Venus Blaze Dust there. What is pulling the Venus Blaze Dust out? All right, y'all. So our stabilized pyrotherm setup was consuming all of our Venus Blaze Dust, which we need for a different process right now. We definitely do want to back stuff and build a buffer of it, but not while we're trying to make an episode. So I will do like I did with these others. I don't think I've shown y'all this in this one, but as you may recall from last episode, we didn't have any of the lower tier stuff in the drawers, and now we're almost up to a full 2K. In all of these, I have literally AFK'd since I recorded the last episode, so we're coming up on almost 24 hours, and we should be backed fully up on our infused alloy pretty shortly. And then I added some upgrades in over here, so these are going to be cranking away for a while, working on getting all of that done. But we will do the same for the stabilized pyrotherm and the Venus Blaze Dust. I will just AFK in this world overnight a few times and try to get all of those fully backed up and usable. But it's good to know that it was working because it was over here filling up our drawer. So we've got 118 buckets of stabilized pyrotherm now. So where does that leave us? We're working on stabilized fire. We need Venus Blaze Dust, fireballs, and liquid elemental fire being exported into an advanced mixer to make our stabilized fire. So let me grab an advanced mixer, and I think we have all of the ingredients together, and we will see if we can't get our stabilized fire going. All right, y'all. We're going to tie the end of this episode together by seeing if we can't make our dimensionally attuned Calorite plate, and then be able to craft our Calorite space plating. We won't be able to get all of it done. We need, as I was saying, I believe it's probably the same math, so around 624 of this plating to be able to proceed with our rocket. I will do the math to make sure and have that for you in an upcoming episode, but let's just see if we can get our system to make it. So one of the last machines we need to set up is we need to get a pressurized reaction chamber set up to make our dimensionally attuned Calorite plate. I've got a pattern provider. I've got a pressurized reaction chamber. Let's make a pattern, and let's head down to that light blue line and see if we can't tie in another process. Break that block there. Let's grab out a universal cable. Toss down some power. Pressurized reaction chamber. Pattern provider. Just for looks and aesthetics and all, let's do it in the small block since this machine can eject. And so then we're going to tell it that we're going to need to clear a bunch of things. So let's clear all of the stuff fluids. If it can't eject, I'm not worried. And gases we want to clear. So on the top, it's going to need to be able to input and output with auto eject on. And then it's also going to need to be able to take in fluids from the top, but it can't output fluids anyways. And then from the top for gases, it's going to need to be able to input output with auto eject on from the top as well. That should get us everything we need for this pattern provider to function properly. So now let's take a look. What was I looking? Oh, cable, light blue cable. Let's tie this in. Toss a pattern in the pattern provider. And then now all that's left to do is test it. Dimensionally attuned Calorite plating. Can you make one? We need energy upgrades. All right, it finished those 10 energy upgrades. Let's see, this should be more than enough to get the machine running. There we go. Pressurized reaction chambers are painfully slow. Let's grab out some speed upgrades. We know that it's not going to be able to take like a full stack. Maybe we can get away with 4. Let's try 4. Cool. Looks like it's surviving. Sweet. So now it can make the dimensionally attuned Calorite plating. I think that's the last piece. Let's see if we can make Calorite space plating. Nope, we're missing stabilized fire. So I thought we set that up, didn't we? No, did we not? Did I get squirreled and we never set that up? How did you guys let me get squirreled and not set that up? Oh, we got sidetracked making the advanced mixer for it. All right, well, we have one last thing to set up. To those of you that was screaming at your screens that Wooly wasn't done, you were right. I was wrong. Here we go. Grabbing out some cables. Bring a cable over. And this is going to need a capacity card because it's going to have more than one thing it's exporting. And so then we are going to be exporting export bus and an import bus. Export. And a capacity card. And we will grab some accelerations. Actually, I don't know if we need a crafting card. I don't think we do. Okay, and an import bus. All right, so we're gonna go with import on this side so we can utilize this cable that's here. Do we have room on this run? Yes, okay. Import, ooh, how are we on total channels? 28, yeah, we're good, okay. And export. The export is going to need to export liquid fire. Capacity card, turn on round robin, and then it's also needs fireball and Venus blaze dust. Oh, we're going to need a crafting card for the fireballs. So fireball. And Venus blaze dust. Let's grab that crafting card first so that we don't fill this thing up. Crafting. Okay. So now, if we come in here and we give it a crafting card and we tell it that too. So now we should hopefully, yep, fireballs are in there. Last thing this thing needs is power. Stabilize fire, so once we get a bucket of this, we're going to need to go add it to our storage. Let's grab out our linking and locking. We're going to need those. Got a bucket. Oh no, that's not the bucket we want. I forgot you have to do these buckets weird. You have to go into the inventory. And then you take your bucket and left click it. Stabilized fire. All right, so now we just need to do the shuffle. All right, so we got our stabilized fire added to a drawer here. It is being automatically made. Once again, you know, we're going to have to do some AFKing to let all of these fluids that we've added get filled up in their buffers, but you know, that's just the name of the game with some of these big heavy packs like this, is that you're either spending a megaton of time in the world with it all loaded or you're AFKing to let them run. So, but this should run consistently, just making that stabilized fire for us. I did have to throw void upgrades on the liquid element drawers, but I did put a giant stack upgrade in here to get them up to the 2K buckets as well, mainly because our liquid elemental earth was empty, and that's because we're using it over here to make the, whatever this is that it's producing. To make one of our uranium crystals. So it had bled it dry for uranium crystals and was not making any more, so I had to get that going because we're going to need a lot of uranium coming up real soon. So with that, now let's try one more time. And I bet you we can make our first piece of Calorite space plating. There it is. Toss it into the inventory for the quest credit. So now 1 down, 623 to go. Let's get an idea of just how short we're going to be on all that. So yeah, we're missing 186 Calorite dust. We're missing 1.6 buckets of stabilized fire. We're missing 137 buckets of liquid methane, and we're missing 69 nitro TNT. So yeah, we're gonna need to just let the world run to back up on the fluids. The reason the liquid methane's probably not here is because I hooked this back up because we weren't getting our PFTE, and we need that polytetrafluoroethylene or whatever, polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE. We need that for some of the earlier tiers of space plating, so needed to get that going again so that we could start building some of it up in our storage here. It does definitely need to get moved into a much smaller drawer on its own. I'll probably do that in between episodes because you use so little of this. I don't need a 2,000 bucket buffer of it. I mean, like, even just whatever the minimum is. What are these? I can't remember what they hold, but it's something like 8 buckets. 8 or 16 buckets or something like that would probably be optimal because you use so little of it. But right now, the liquid methane's going to making some more PTFE, and it will all back up eventually. We just have to, we have to give time in the world for everything to generate. So this tower right here is what's making that methane, and as you can see, nothing is overstuffed yet. So we covered adding this in. Oh, one other thing real quick. So this has a byproduct of hydrogen that we don't need. And I discovered that the chemical tanks, I don't know if I knew this before and had forgotten, but these things can be set to dump excess. So I stuffed a tank underneath it, told it to output the hydrogen to the bottom, and when that tank fills up, it'll just dump the excess hydrogen. And we also know we've got a little stash of hydrogen down there if we ever need it. So if you've got a machine that's making a mechanism gas byproduct that you don't necessarily need, you can output it to a tank, change the little setting right there, tell it to dump the excess, and then that'll keep the machine from stopping because it fills up with gas. So with that, that's going to bring us to the end of today's episode. I really hope you guys have enjoyed it. This crow seems to have enjoyed it because he's coming over for the outro. We're getting there. We got further today than I thought we were going to. We made our first piece of Calorite space plating. Oh my gosh! I'm so excited about that. Like, I didn't think we would get there in today's episode. Now, we need a lot more. We're going to need some AFK time in the world, and we've got a few other things to get together. But thank you guys so much for watching, and if you liked it, hit that like button, and if you're not already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can get notifications when new episodes drop. We'll talk to you guys in the next episode.